What's up, Nickel City Mafia? Welcome to the Rush Hour Sunday night. The Bills lost. And by the way, Jake's on that intro video, but we use it back to back. And where's Jake? Nowhere to be found. Hopefully Jake joins us in about 15 minutes. He had somebody schedule a wedding today. He wasn't very happy about it. You know the rules. Don't schedule events on football day. But he went there. Says he'll be on in about 15 minutes. We'll hold the show down for a little bit. But my goodness, how things change after you go 3-0. You're saying to yourself, the experts were wrong. We were right. The Bills believers, we were right. This team's going to be able, everyone eats. We bought into it. And 3-0, like, yes, feeling great. We lose the first one, the first one, the Ravens are like, okay, everybody has a bad day. Everyone has a bad day. And then we come in with another loss. Now, you look at the stat line, you're saying to yourself, how are we even in this game? But we had a chance to win it. So I want to say that from a positive standpoint. We had a chance to win this game as bad as that offense looked. We're going to get into all of it. We got Cody joining us. If you saw Cody, he joined me Wednesday. He's a Texans guy. You can see it. And I'm sure he's not going to, beat us up too bad. But before, and of course, Buffalo Barbie Dell Jessica joins us as always. Before we get into saying we need to fire everybody, because I know that's coming out there in the chat. And before we get into that, I want to throw it to Cody, because Cody, congratulations, first of all. You did say it was going to be a close game. I think it was not your prediction. You were very pessimistic when your prediction came. I can't remember if you said it'd be close. I said it'd be a 6-point game. It was within 6 points. But Cody, give me your perspective on this game, both from the Bills side and the Texans side, man.
Yeah, I said it was going to be a 31-27 Bills win. So obviously, I'm glad to be on the other side of this one. We got to rep both that, and we got to rep A&M just absolutely laying the hammer down on the number 9 ranked Missouri too. So we're repping both teams. It was a good football weekend for me for sure, but there was a lot of stuff that I absolutely was disgusted with during this game. I don't think either of these teams played very well. Like you said, if you're looking at just the box score stats and you're looking at how are the Bills even in this game, you're just absolutely blown away. And then you're looking at it from the Texan side, and they can't run the ball either, and they can't close out the game. The third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter were absolutely terrible. And that's what allowed y'all to get back into the game. Unfortunately, on y'all's end, like, we have Kaimi Fairbairn, and a 59-yarder is basically just Swiss cheese, easy money for him. I mean, that it's absolutely insane what kickers are doing right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit pre-show. He could have hit that one from 75, I think, and he would have been able to seal that game away. But it came down to what we talked about on Wednesday, Thursday night. It came down to last play. They're two very, very good teams still. I don't want to take anything away from either of them, but I think both sides have a lot of things to fix.
Yeah, Cody, you were talking to me pre-show, and I said, how much clearance is behind that goalpost to I think it was the first row where the fan caught the ball. You said it was 10 yards. Guy kicked it from 59. He could have made it from 69, maybe even 70. I'm calling it now. I'm sending something into the NFL. I want all kickers steroid tested. What the heck is going on? Why is it so easy to kick a 55 to 65 yarder these days? Something's going on. Something's in the water. Something's in the drinks they're having. I don't know. Something's in the shots they're getting. Maybe. I got to get this. We got to get this checked out, Jessica. Jessica, I've got a lot to say in this game, but I'm going to throw it to you to kind of kick it off from the Bills' perspective.
First of all, I think they're juicing the ball like they did in baseball.
All right. Juicing the ball.
That was the worst offensive performance I think I've ever seen Josh Allen have. Even first year Josh, I think this was a worst case scenario. The offensive line does not look good. They do not know how to handle the 6 blitzers that the Ravens showed everyone how to attack the Bills. And that either the wide receivers, the tight ends do not know to break off the routes early enough, or there's something going on where they just don't recognize that something has to change. And the question is were they just outcoached again for the second week in a row?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the first person to come in here and say fire McDermott. That's going to happen. No one has said that
Well,
yet, but I want to
well,
say hi
Trek
to.
did say let's
Oh,
release Cam.
yeah, there's the first one, but he always says that, and I'll tell you what, Cam has not been playing great football, and even though this game, on a scoreboard looked close, it really wasn't. And let's not forget, Nico Collins. This is the second week in a row we've let a team go deep on us, like a long play. We had what was it, Derrick Henry with the 76-yard run, and what was that, Nico Collins? How far was that? That thing was a mile long.
Must have been like 70.
I believe it was 70. I believe it was
70
right
yards,
off the
70.
kickoff from the 30, so 70.
Yeah.
You give a team that easy of a touchdown, and I mean, you're in trouble. You're in trouble right from the get-go. Josh Allen missed a wide open Matt Collins, wide open. And there's just no excuse for that. I'm sorry. I know everyone has a bad throw here and there, but he also missed Kincaid down the middle. Also another post route where he kind of underthrew. So he's overthrowing, underthrowing. Jessica, I know you're saying like you think he's hurt. I don't.
I think he's either hurt or he got nailed last week, and I think he got hit by a freight train last week, and I think he's just off right now.
Well,
Either he's hurt or just not taking his time to make the throws accurate,
Yeah,
or the offensive line's not giving him enough time.
Yeah, well, I think the team keeps playing like this. He's going to be sore every week, and I got to say, like, the book's out. The book is out, and we're not doing anything to adjust. I feel like there's no respect. Why would they respect any of our receivers? Just play close to the line, bring the heat, let their corners do their job. No one's got a threat to go deep. We had a chance, and that's why. Like, look, Matt Collins is not a very fast guy, so they were kind of cheating up. He made the move, great move, got open, wide open, deep. That's just because they're not respecting the Bills receivers. And so it's just like, let's bring the heat on Josh. Josh is running for his life. And the running game was kind of there. It was working. I didn't see a lot of motion and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think the book is out. Let me just say hi to everyone in the chat here. Trek Reviewer, yep, I agree with you. Not released, but he's playing pretty bad. Need Taron Johnson back soon. Stefon, good to see you, man. I hope you're sticking around for the show. What a terrible display of football today. I haven't been more disappointed with the way we played since Nate Peterman's interception fiasco, which I was at that game.
And
I was
bad.
at that game in California. Went to see the Chargers, and yeah, that was horrible. It was horrible. And then we got, let's see here. Let's see. Cody is happy. Weston, good to see you. Yeah, why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? He said the Bills, I think he was just using reverse psychology. He's just saying the Bills were going to win, but it worked for him. And what is Cody doing at this time of morning? Well, the reason I brought him on is so before we started saying fire everybody, I wanted to get a level-headed, Cody's not that type of guy. He's just not going to bring the heat and say we suck and all that. He knows his team could have lost this game. But I wanted to get a perspective just from someone else who had a kind of wasn't too heated, right? We needed somebody. Let's see. The Bills wide receivers equals Dolphins offensive line. So MVS, a regretful signing. Man, so glad the Chiefs got rid of him. I wanted him gone a year and a half ago, and he doesn't do anything. Yeah, you know what? What do you have? I think he had one target earlier in the game, maybe.
Well, he had that one ball tossed to him that he should have come back for and caught.
Yeah,
but he stood there and let it come to him, and by that time it was going to be knocked down.
Yeah, he had actually he had 3 targets, believe it or not. 3 targets. Nothing. So I agree with you, Weston. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that's just, everyone. Listen, Curtis Samuel, where's he gone? Where's Curtis Samuel gone? Heard so many good things before the season started. We are going to use him in the backfield, kind of Deebo Samuel, like he's got good speed. He should be able to, that guy to go deep sometimes. Not then. What's we got here? P Game STV, Bills wide receivers suck. B. Blake says, I would make a par 5 hole in one easy. What's he mean there? You mean the
Kaimi.
kicker? The kicker. Yeah. Of course he would. Yes. I'm seeing all these kickers do that. And then what we got here? Roy saying Bass needs some of that water then. Bass did his job today. He was asked to kick two field goals and he made them. So actually, was it 2 field goals? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah, but it was also kind of scary that, he had a chance for that 50-yarder that they chose to punt instead. So it sort of makes me feel like, McDermott's not willing to give them the opportunity to miss.
Yeah, maybe. So Jessica, what you think? I mean, so late in the game, right? We hold them. We get the ball back with 32 seconds to go. Game is tied, and I'm like, just run out the clock, get this thing to overtime. Let's take our chances there. Talk to me about that, because it's just horrible play calling.
I think the Bills' perspective was that, didn't matter if we ran or passed, it was going to either be a timeout or incompletion's going to stop it anyhow. They had 3 timeouts. But I would agree with the thought that, hey, run the ball, let's get a few more yards towards them. Even if it was 5 yards, that would have hopefully it made a difference, even though it was a 75-yarder, to hopefully give us some opportunity to knock the ball further back. And if we could just get that one first down, then we're into overtime.
Yeah, I mean, run, first down, second down, see where you're at.
Get rid of all their timeouts.
Get rid of all their timeouts.
Yeah.
They had to use one before that kick. They had to use one. So maybe that's not there. And, and we wasted a few more seconds. We only needed a couple seconds. And I'm just horrified. First of all, if they're going to go with that, the play calling seemed to stink. I mean, first of all, you're throwing in from the 3-yard line. You're taking a lot of chances. Your old line holds. Guess what? Safety, game over. You get sacked or you throw the ball away in the end zone, and it's not a legal pass. You lose the game. So lots of things could go wrong there by throwing a ball. If anyone's saying, "Oh, I think we could have moved the ball downfield within 32 seconds and gotten to field goal range," sure, you could say that. But I don't know, Cody, the way your defense was playing today, I just didn't see that happening. And they were all obviously playing pre-event or way back. So what's your thoughts there?
I think it should have been forcing us to take the timeouts. But the biggest thing of why you run the ball there and why you force us to take timeouts is that way that you can actually get a little bit more distance to punt the ball. Because we had pretty poor punt return the entire game. We're playing with Robert Woods, who is our backup punt returner, and he caught 2 balls within his own 10-yard line and fair caught them. And number one on the top of the list of things that I'm pissed off with about my own team, he's fair catching within his own 10-yard line. You just don't do that. Like, that is punt return 101. But he was able to get enough of a return because there wasn't enough room for the Bills to have a good punt on that play. And that comes down to, why didn't you run the ball forward for 5 yards and allow your punter to have an opportunity to actually create a normal kickoff or a normal punt right there? Like that was what I was yelling at the TV whenever I was in there and watching them. I was yelling across the other team of, like, what are you doing here? It didn't make sense.
That's a great point, Cody, and by the way, it's hard to tell where the out of bounds line is. For some reason, in that end zone, I was having a difficult time with the logo they had there. Like, where is the out of bounds? But then I focused and I could see it. But absolutely great point, because, like you said, Jessica, just get a couple more yards, get 5 more yards. And who knows? They were running the ball pretty well. I mean, we averaged 5.4 yards a carry. Yeah. James Cook averaged 4.1. I mean, it's inflated because Josh Allen had 4 of his runs for 54 yards. But still, on the ball, Jessica.
What happened to Davis today? Ray Davis was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, they threw the ball once to him? Yeah, I think they did they? Yeah, Ray Davis, 2 targets, 1 catch. He did not run the ball, no rushes. Curtis Samuel ran the ball once, -1 yard. But yeah, so James Cook he was average 4.1, had a nice touchdown there. But yeah, I just don't know what the heck they're thinking down there. Get the game to overtime.
If they really wanted to get it to overtime, they would have ran a jailbreak, gave Josh enough protection, and let him just air it out, and that would have taken care of 10 seconds each throw, all the way down until it hits the ground. That's it's going to be at least 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, and then punt the ball, and that's the end of the time, and we can go to overtime at that point. That's, if you're really thinking, that's how you would have taken care of it.
Yeah, I mean, if they ran, and then he does his famous, what people like to call his arm punt, where he throws the ball 70 yards down the field. Even that could have worked. I mean, better than what they put out there for that series. Where's Dawson Knox been? Jessica, where is he? Where's his 12 personnel? We got 2 good tight ends. Pay Dawson Knox a lot of money. Where the heck is he?
He's the backup tight end at this point. They'd rather have Alex Anderson out there as the second tight end to go heavy and run the ball instead of Dawson Knox and Kincaid, a regular offensive line, doing it that way. I don't know why. I guess Brady just doesn't feel like he can run the offense that way.
Yeah, I mean, what's it here? Somebody said, where is he? Matt Collins stinks. So Matt Collins was targeted 6 times. He's one of your top targets. You're in trouble if he's one of your top targeted guys.
But he was the one open.
He got wide open. Comedian Mo Brown, wide open. You cannot miss that throw. And then you have a couple bad throws to him. I mean, there was one that was Josh was trying to throw back to him, and it was just a bad throw. So you can't put it all on him. But yeah, you're in trouble if he's your top target guy. Kincaid was your other guy. He had 6 targets, only 2 catches. I'm not sure what's been going on with him. We thought he'd be that number one guy, to kind of fill the shoes of sort of like Stefon Diggs, kind of be that 8, 9, 10 target guy. But nope, not happening. I don't know, Cody. I don't know. I need an outside perspective, man. What's going on with this Buffalo Bills team?
I think they got a little bit kind of like what happened last week whenever that 80-yard run with Derrick Henry and they got a little bit away from the game plan happened. I think that almost kind of happened today whenever Nico Collins got hit for that 70-yard bomb touchdown. I think they got a little bit just away from the game plan, and I really do think, like, I'd actually like to pivot this one back to y'all. Just like, what is does Khalil Shakir being out actually mean that big of a drop to the passing game with where it's currently at right now? I mean, the X receiver in Keon Coleman, like, he can make his big play. He can make his jump ball X wide receiver play every once in a while, but just over the middle, it felt like there was nothing that was happening. And I feel like that's where, like, I think y'all even expected like Curtis Samuel to step up into that role, but it really feels like there was just a lacking there without Khalil Shakir there this week.
Or Kincaid.
Yeah. Kincaid filling that role too.
I'll let you answer that, Jessica. What do you think? What
do I think what?
Well, he was saying, is missing Khalil Shakir that big of a deal to this offense?
Apparently so. He seems like he's the only one who can find a spot that's open, that Josh can get it to him, and he can make a move. The others seem like they're running the routes, and the defense knows where they're going.
Yeah. I'll say the same thing, Cody. It does appear that is the case, because he is that guy who, even when Josh gets in trouble, he finds a seam. He finds a way to get open. And he's got great hands. He's quick, runs great routes. Yeah. So he was a big loss for sure. But still, there's other guys on this team. If Brady, let's talk about Brady. So Ken Dorsey, is he still available by any chance? I don't know. Last time,
no, when was it?
When was it?
I don't think I'm going there.
When was it we were calling for his head? I think it was around. When did they fire him? Actually, was it what week was it when they fired him?
I want to say it was 7 or 8 games left last year.
7 or 8 games. So that means we were about 8 or 9 into
week 11.
Season.
Yeah, just before the Philadelphia game.
All right. So, Roy, do we have a Joe Brady problem? A little bit, I think. I mean, obviously, we thought that this motion, I didn't see a lot of motion late in the game. I don't know if you guys did. We thought this motion would allow Josh Allen to see the defense, know what they're doing, and call some audibles or do something. Didn't seem to happen. I don't know if we have a problem, but we do have I don't know if we have a Brady problem. We do have a wide receiver problem. And did any of you hear what Diggs? I heard somebody say Diggs was talking on the post game. Did we hear any Diggs press conference?
I thought he sent out a text that said, "Let's go, Bills,"
Oh boy,
or something like that.
oh boy. I mean,
I haven't seen anything other than just they had a very quick tap up or after the game, and then that was it. They didn't talk to each other. That was the big thing after the game. That's the only thing that I've seen so far from the Diggs and Allen interactions.
yeah, Trey, I mean, you're spot on. It's kind of what I was saying. The Texans defense loves playing one high. Bills have no true X or Z. The field is so small. Teams don't respect Bills' downfield game, and they're not given a reason to respect it. And that's what I was saying early on. We were able to take advantage of that with Mac Hollins getting wide open. That should never happen. He's not like some speed demon.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, dude, I'm just saying, like, Josh Allen makes about $3.4 million a game. And I know I love Josh, and he's one of the best. But lately, he struggled with some of these deep balls, and you got to hit that. I feel like Cody, Jessica, or myself can throw that ball for a completion when they're that wide open. Come on, just throw it to the inside. Why are you throwing it to the outside? Giving him a chance. I mean, or gun it right at him. Hit him in the chest. No.
I'm sorry.
I'm just so frustrated with that.
I cannot throw the ball 40 yards.
Yeah, I think I'd be struggling to do that.
Oh, come on. Back in your early days, you couldn't throw a 40-yard pass. I don't know. But hey, this is a NFL quarterback paid $300 million contract. He can throw 70-yard bombs. We know he can throw the 70. I think most NFL quarterbacks should, if there was 10 quarterbacks, we had 10 different quarterbacks, I bet you 70% of the completion would have happened on that pass. So easy. He was so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Matt Collins could have just stopped. Throw it right to me. Let's go. But yeah, that was a big play early in the game. And obviously they scored a touchdown. They didn't score a touchdown on that drive. They scored a touchdown on that play.
Mm-hmm.
Could have won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, could have won the game. So anyhow, let's see. B Blake. Yeah, look, Coleman. That was a beautiful play though on the quick out. And it was rookie against rookie. Rookie makes the mistake, Cody, and he takes it to the house. And how about him tightroping down the sideline?
You don't want to get me started about how he was still out of bounds. He was still out of bounds. You cannot show me a picture that he is not out of bounds on that play.
The only thing I would say, Cody, was that heel. Like they're saying, no, that heel, they're assuming it was off the ground. Now the toe down near the when they got closer, there was green. They showed
there was green there, fully agreed.
But I think you're talking about the heel, and you know what?
They need proof. They need
Hey, they review
absolute proof, and that's hard.
Yeah. Well, they review it, but I didn't know they make assumptions. Like if you're looking, you're like, yeah. I mean, who's saying that there's like I can slide a card underneath that heel? Somebody's making that assumption, and I don't know if these guys have that type of those mathematical skills to determine that heel was off the ground, but they did. And anyhow,
they can't determine if it was off the ground or not off the ground. That's the point of it.
Yeah. Well, I can see why you might be upset there, Cody. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" I would be yelling the same thing.
Oh,
now,
it had me for about 2 hours straight. Yeah.
First of all, I have a couple questions. I personally do not think that Dalton Kincaid had that catch. People were screaming that we should have challenged the play. I see Dalton Kincaid go up for it, but he loses like his feet. That if he catches that clean, it's a catch. But he doesn't. It feels like he loses slight control, brings it into him. By that time, he hits out of bounds, and he's still kind of juggling the ball. I did not think that was a catch, Jessica.
If it was or wasn't, they should have thrown the challenge flag since they took a timeout anyhow.
Yeah, right. But
let the refs decide.
Did
let
you
New
think,
York
Cody?
Decide.
Cody, what did you think?
I think they probably had a reason to throw it, but I don't believe after everything that I reviewed, like all the replays that I saw, I don't believe he actually caught it. But I agree. Like if you're going to take a timeout, why would you not just use a challenge flag? that's going to either net you it or lose you it, and then also burn the timeout. Like it's the same exact thing that you're doing right there. So just like you get everything and you get to potentially overturn it. So I don't see a reason not to throw it. Obviously though, like the timeout did come later into the play and everything, but still just didn't fully make as much sense. But I don't think it would have been overturned either.
Goes to the fact that McDermott was out-coached again, or he out-coached himself, whichever case you want to take it. So,
yeah, I think in the 2 areas, maybe that I agree. It was the timeout right after that, or was it further down in the series?
No, I thought it was right at right.
It was on the next snap, but it was as play clock was running down on next snap. So like it's an interesting kind of dynamic of like what you're thinking of in that time right there though.
So I think hold on, Jake, I'll add you there in a second. He's all dressed up. We got Jake there, and I'm gonna change the overlay here.
Mm-hmm. They wanted to waste so much time seeing whether or not they wanted to challenge it that it forced them to take the timeout.
Yeah. Let me get this fixed here. Let me take this off. Let's bring in Josh. And by the way, Roy, yes, they use quantum physics to determine where Coleman's heel was. They actually typed it in. They went to ChatGPT based on the size, his height, time where he was on the sideline.
The string theory.
ChatGPT gave him the answer. Hold on, folks. Let me get this off.
Mike, I'm just glad you called me Josh again. I'm just saying, I did hear it.
I'm telling you, look at you. You're dressed up. You're throwing me off.
Listen.
Looking good, buddy.
I came in live from a wedding. We did a Buffalo-style wedding, so we all jumped on tables. We got a little drunk tonight. I'm actually okay. We're not as bad as I was after the Jets game, like last year, right after that first inaugural Joe Brady win. So that's good. But I am all business. I figured I'm coming in, suit and tie. We cannot mess around anymore. This is Jake, like do or die.
So, Jake, do we have videos or pictures of that?
Oh, so many. I will be sure to send you guys some because it's incredible.
So Jake, you heard us. So we're just talking about the Kincaid. Should we have called the timeout? I don't think it was a catch. Cody doesn't think so. Jessica's like, well, we should have just checked. Let New York decide. And I think in our group chat, you were thinking it was a catch.
Oh, I did. Yeah. After I saw the replay, I was like, that's definitely. I mean, you saw a little bit of movement there, but I didn't think it was like that much movement where it wasn't a catch. So I know it's hard to determine what a catch is nowadays, but I felt you should have thrown the red flag, and we blew a timeout anyway. So it's like, why wouldn't you? Or no, we didn't. I'm sorry. That was after the James Cook play.
No, it was right that same play.
It was. Okay, yeah, it was. Yep. So I just didn't understand that. I was like, that just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, Roy's saying he's saying it was incomplete.
Yeah.
And Roy's never wrong. You know this. Roy is never wrong. And then check reviewer. How about the ref saying Josh fumbled the basketball?
Cheers, guys.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Was that said? I'm serious.
Yep.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. Yes. So the ref, they had mentioned it a few times. So I know, Mike, you were at a soccer game, but they had mentioned it on the broadcast. Yeah. So the head referee is like an AD for some school, and he's like a head basketball coach as well. So they had mentioned like, hey, this guy, he's so used to coaching basketball that he probably just said basketball in his statement. It was hilarious. Incredible.
All right, so Trey's also supporting that Josh is hurt. I don't like these theories because, if Josh is hurt, he shouldn't be playing, and the coaches shouldn't be letting him play. And I gotta say, he hasn't shown any hint of being injured, and usually players do if there's something going on. Now he's a beast. Don't get me wrong. Maybe in other words, we'll talk about this concussion where people thought like, why is he back in the game? You saw Josh go to the sideline. He says, hell no, I'm not going in that blue tent. They put him in the blue tent.
One play.
And he's out quickly. So I want to know what happens in the blue tent. Does anyone have any clue? Because I asked this in the Discord. Nobody did. Like, let me get this off of Trey. I'm sorry, not Trey. But Cody, I'm going to bring you to the top. So my face is hidden on these things. Deep ball passer ratings generally more on wide receiver than quarterback. This is what Trey's saying. I agree with Jessica, though. Conspiracy is Josh has hurt a bit. Either way, Josh taking too many big hits. Torrance is a problem. Yeah, he is taking a lot of hits, and that's a little bit on Brady. But again, I'm not going to give these excuses. He's hurt. All football players are hurt. And Josh did not look like his arm nothing looked like he was injured in that game. I don't know, Jake. You look like the guy. Get inside his head. What do you think?
I mean, Josh would never let you know that he's injured, first off. So, like, he even said, like, I'm fine. He went in the blue tent for, like, a minute. Yeah. So I was listening. It was funny because I had the radio broadcast on because I was driving to this wedding with my parents. I wasn't driving, actually, but I had the broadcast on my phone, but I was also listening to it. And I heard Eric Wood mention that there were, like, 3 neurologists that came down. They have red hats on. They evaluated him, made sure that he was good to go, and then he went back in the game. So it was one play that he missed. They got to do their due diligence. Anytime there's like a head hit to the ground or anything like that, they have to make sure that the guy is able to come back in neurologically. So they did their due diligence, and that was that. I don't know if he was actually – I don't think he's been injured, to be honest with you. I mean, if he is, he will never let you know. But I don't buy it, Trey. Listen, I love the conspiracy talk. I'm here for it, but I just feel like Josh was kind of in his own head today, and then on top of that, the receivers were just not getting separation. So that – combined with the 2 just was not helping the situation at all.
So Jake, what do you think they do? Like those experts come down to the tent, they put the the flashlight in the eyes, they're looking for dial, are the eyes big or something like that? And then do they ask you what's your name, what's the year, what's the month, who's the president? You're cleared.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just curious what they do. Is there
it's basic questions like that, and then I think they do actually have like an iPad. So when just going off of my experience in college, I had to touch an iPad, and you had to like do reaction drills basically. Okay. So you would have to like touch different like letters and stuff like that on an iPad to see how fast you reacted. And if it took you like a second longer than usual, they would basically say, hey, this guy's concussed or he cannot play anymore. His cognitive ability is not where it needs to be. So that's more or less how they determine it from my understanding. But I don't know what it really entails now at the pro level because it's definitely gotten more advanced since I played even.
Yeah, I'd love to find out. Cody, can you get? I mean, you got some contacts you need to find out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have personal experience with it. I mean, I was absolutely knocked out, fell out of my bunk bed in college, fell 7 foot onto a tile floor, split my head open, got rushed to the ER. And I don't remember taking the concussion protocol test, woke up in the hospital bed and finally came back to life. And I'd already passed concussion protocol. So independent neurologist, I don't really know exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Let's speak to, this is your friend, and he's a friend of the channel now, B-Bake. B-Bake, Cody was telling me, B-Bake says, are we having a show tonight? Because he likes watching our show. So he says, Texans with a gutsy win tonight, losing Collins and Ward in the first half. Defense played incredibly well, for sure, only allowing 9 completions by Allen. Important to remember, Texans were missing key pieces. Absolutely. Said that a little earlier. Don't forget, they were without Nico Collins. Nico Collins goes big time. What was it, 70 yarders, you guys said? Pulls his hammy. Yeah. Pulls his hammy, unfortunately. The worst way to get injured on a nice deep pass. And he's gone, and who knows what he would have done the rest of the game. I will say this, the Bills defense also stepped up in the second half, given the Bills the offensive chance to win this game. There were some folks saying, we're still getting up 3rd and long. I want to ask you guys, what is 3rd and long? I'm going to go around the horn. 3rd and long. What do you consider 3rd and long, Jessica?
3rd and long, 6.5 yards.
She's going very specific. Jake, what about you?
I agree with Jessica. I feel like anything after 6 is kind of like that threshold, right? They always say so I know a few guys that are state troopers, and I always ask them, I'm like, what's the rule of thumb for speeding? They say 7 miles per hour. So I would I mean, that's applicable to football, right? I feel like 7 yards is probably the threshold. So 3rd and 7 and afterwards, that's probably 3rd and long.
And what about you, Cody?
I am 7+. That's always what I've been taught is 3rd and long. And for speeding rules, I have 10% of whatever the speed limit is what I use.
All right, our good friend Sean said 5 or more. I did I went through all the plays. We gave up 7 third downs, 5 yards or greater. If you go past 5, it was probably reduced to about 5. But anyhow, yes, 7 3rd and 5s or longer we gave up in that game. But we did make some plays. Look, Cody, when you and I talked on Wednesday, we said, turnovers would be a huge difference. Well, Bills got 2 turnovers, and we still lost the game. We weren't able to take advantage of it the way we should. And it's hard not to look at Jake. He looks so damn good in that suit. I'm being so distracted.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Damn.
I wanted to make a statement tonight because I'm like, listen, from now on, it's all business. So I said to my wife, I'm like, I'm not going to even change. I'm going down there full suit and tie. I'm not even changing out of this because guess what? It's pedal to the metal now. I know we got to win the AFC East. That's how you get into the playoffs. But man, there's no more of this. Like, hey, we coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like, you cannot mess around. We're playing the Jets next weekend and next Monday actually. So it is what it is. And I'm drinking a blue like the old times. Yes. I have to do it.
Yeah. What do you think here, Jessica? If Josh is out for any amount of time, how much do you bet Mike White will end up starting for the Bills?
If Josh is out, I want Mike White. No fear. I think that's true. Mitch is fearful of pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
It just depends on whether or not Mike White is up to speed on the offense. It's been 4 weeks. I'm hoping that he's up to speed. Maybe it's been 6 weeks, but yeah, if he's not up to speed, not comfortable enough. But if he is, I want Mike White. And I want to talk about, when we were 2-0, what did I say? I'm happy if we go 2-2 over the next 4.
True.
As long as we beat the Jets. And so we're still in line. If we beat the Jets, we're up by 2 games and third with the tiebreaker. So,
hey, the AFC East, I mean AFC least. If the Bills lose next Monday, the Jets are in first place.
Yeah.
The Bills are in second. Then 500 teams, and the Dolphins are right back in the thick of things. And then you've got the Patriots, just a couple games out first as well. This is insane. What is happening, people? B-Bake says, as a Houstonian, we love HPD giving us cool 15-mile-per-hour cushion.
There you go. Speed limits are a little bit faster too down there.
Houston cops have a different. I mean, Houston cops will speed 15 miles over along with everybody. They're a different animal down there.
Yeah.
Roy saying on the flip side, the Bills were 3 for 14 on third downs. Absolutely horrible. Yes. Where's the guy with the meme that looks like he's throwing up? Because I could use that. Again, that was last week. I can throw up again. Let's see here. Weston says, Jake had some fun watching the Jets.
I did. I was very optimistic going into that game. Yeah. I mean, I was in the Discord. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Like, I love seeing the Super Bowl team Jets getting stomped by the Vikings. And even so, I mean, it was a close game at the end of the day, but it was nice to see. And then, the Bills have an opportunity to like take a solid division lead, and they blew it, man. But I do want to ask 2 weeks in a row. I do want to ask Cody, like, how are you feeling after this win? And I'll say this. I think if Nico Collins was in this game, like continue to be in this game, probably would have been a lot worse. But how are you feeling with the injuries to Jimmy Ward and Nico Collins after this win? Tough, gutsy win, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, one of those that you don't feel good about. I don't think anybody coming out of this one feels good about how we won that game. Because if you go into halftime like that and then come out and put the performance on that you did from the third and the beginning of the fourth quarter, like I don't think anybody around the organization is happy about exactly how it happened. Obviously, you just have to be happy with the win and how you get there. But Nico Collins, I mean, man, better be back. Like he is the alpha wide receiver 1. Everybody questioning who was the number 1 coming into this year has been absolutely told through 5 weeks who the number 1 is in Houston. It is Nico Collins. He is our alpha. He is our Jamar Chase. He's our Justin Jefferson. Like, that's how good that man is. And I hope to God he can get back quickly. Jimmy Ward is just like, we talked about it I think on our original show that we were on, just like our safety play is just replacement level. But he's replacement level better than the guy that's following him up right now. So he needs to get back to not exactly comfortable with where we're at. I don't think it was a great win. I came away probably more pissed off than most Texans fans. I mean, I'm a pessimistic fan by nature. I will bet against my team winning every single week. I did it on y'all's show. I'm going to say a lot of bad things about the Texans probably over the next however long we go, but I'm glad to get a win. But yeah, I'm not the right person to talk to for actual takeaways.
Optimism?
No, optimism is not ever in my brain. No.
Fair enough.
Roy, it's your fault, man. You never go against the Bills. I don't care what you're thinking. Here's a good question for B-Bake from Mr. Podger. Is Kami, how do you say Kami?
Kaimi Fairbairn.
Kaimi.
Look up his full name.
Okay.
Full name is nuts.
I know he's my fantasy football kicker, so I mean there is a plus side to what he did there. And why wasn't he invited to the wedding, man?
I'll tell you what, I don't know, man, because that 59-yarder, we knew it was going through. We're like, there's no way. Jake Elliott hit like a 56-yarder in the rain against us in Philly. I was there to see it in person. I'm like, there's no way this guy is going to miss a kick in a dome with no conditions straight on. Like, Kaimi Fairbairn is a good kicker. I think very underrated, to say the least. I mean, he is a really good player in general. I think he led the Texans in scoring for like the last few years.
He's the all-time leading scorer in Houston.
All-time leading scorer. There you go. Yeah. So like, guy's a stud. There's no way he was going to miss that kick. I knew it was going through. Good question. Why wasn't he invited to the wedding? He probably should have been because we had a hell of a time. I will say this. So I'm in Buffalo. I was at a wedding. Ceremony started actually at 4:30, Mike. So it was post Bills loss, like 15 minutes after. Everyone's gathered at the bar watching the game. We're all just disheartened, right? Then we get to see this beautiful bride walk down the aisle. Shout out to Zach and Amanda. They're beautiful, incredible couple. But we still played the Bills shout song. We had a great time, drank a lot of beers, maybe a table of smash. I don't know. You know how we do it in Buffalo. I'm still drinking as we speak. I danced a lot of it off, but you got to keep the buzz going. So here we are.
Jake, I know you missed it early on, but I'm calling for some steroid testing to go on with these kickers. Every kicker is like, it's now 55 plus, and every kicker who plays against us hits all these clutch kicks.
I know.
Are you
I know.
kidding me?
Yeah.
And look, Cody, no disrespect to Dalton Schultz, but if I see another one of these, I'm going to lose it. I mean, come on. How many times you got to put that around your head?
I know, man.
My goodness. Just get the first down and move on.
Yeah. I will say this. I think the linebacker play was a hell of a lot better. I mean, obviously the impact was felt by Terrell Bernard being in the lineup.
Yes.
But man, it's just those crossing routes all day today. They just absolutely killed us.
Dorian Williams had a great game, I thought.
He
great
did.
Game.
Oh yeah, he did.
And then our rookie
always
Carter.
knew he could play.
Yeah, and then Carter on the defensive line. Yeah. What a game for him, man. Looked good.
I love him.
But yeah, Dorian Williams, I thought Terrell Bernard with the big interception. What a play. Let's just think about that play by Terrell Bernard. He takes the, I think it was the tight end out of the play, and then he pivots just in time
to Diggs.
Stroud is thrown over to Diggs and makes a huge interception. Just an incredible play. But man, what else we got going on here?
Everyone's putting the name of Kaimi Fairbairn in the chat. Put some respect on his name because he is. I think he's a top 5 kicker in the league.
Seriously, his first name?
It is. Oh,
Get out of here. How do you say it?
So John Christian Kaimi Noluamika Ikiua Kumapua Fairbairn.
That's actually very.
I'm just saying John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt Fairborn. I cannot say that middle name. I'm sorry. I could say it 1,000 times and I'll never get it right. Oh my goodness. Who's that? I mean, who's that kicker? Oh my gosh. I'm just telling you, kickers. Who's the one with the? Is it Koo in his name? It's Koo?
Youngwei Koo.
Oh my goodness. That
guy's a stud too.
Oh my god.
All these kickers with the names. Maybe we gotta do something with our kickers. Tyler Bass, that's a little basic. We gotta bring someone in.
Oh man.
Something, I mean, come on now.
But they are kicking in domes.
You're getting an honorary.
I love it. B-Bake, I appreciate you, brother. Hell yeah.
Mail to your house tonight. Okay.
Oh, I need it. Please. I really do.
Myra Hamlin was getting trucked all night. I will say this, I was trying to think what safety made the mistake on that Nico Collins, not giving over the top. I think it was Cole Bishop. I think it was Cole.
Yeah, Bishop.
Yeah, it was.
Bishop had a horrible game. Just horrible.
I'll say this, though. So I comped him to Harrison Smith. It took a few games for Harrison Smith to get up to speed, too. He had a sack today on Aaron Rodgers, no big deal. But he's been in the league for many years, and he's done amazing things. So growing pains, I understand. I know it's tough because we're playing the Texans. You want to get a win against a revenge team or a revenge game, I should say, right? But it was tough. Like it was his fault on that play, without a doubt.
Yeah, Roy says, can you imagine signing that name on a contract? Yeah, oh my goodness.
I know.
We have all the follows.
Yeah.
I always forget to say this. Please smash that like button right now. Take a second, just a second. It's free. If you're new to the channel, drop a nickel on the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Jake and Buffalo Barbie Doll. We're coming up on 2,000 subscribers, man. We're about
Pretty
a little
good.
over 100. Working our way. We appreciate everyone that's been giving us support. Please share the pod if you'd be so kind. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Subscribe.
Show by show.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Good stuff there.
And the Fantasy Draft Room as well. Give them a follow.
Dude.
Great podcast. You guys are doing amazing things. I've listened to a few. All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I put some links in the show last week. I'm gonna put the same links, Cody, unless you have another one you want me to add. I'll put the same links in the show tonight. But yeah, good stuff. I mean, Cody's just like I said. Everyone's like, "Why are you bringing on the Texans?" But after we've gotten our butts whooped, we didn't get our butts whooped, but we lost. But Cody keeps it real. He keeps it real. So I knew he would, and we had to have some cool heads out here, Jake. I mean, everyone. I'm surprised. Where's your friend coming in saying fire McDermott? I was waiting for him.
Oh, I know.
Ian? It's not Ian.
Well, no, it's Zach, my brother. He
Zach,
texted me a few times, and I said,
"Oh boy,
brother, I get it." He did text me. He's like, "Listen, it's the same thing over and over again. I get it. I understand. I know the frustration. Everyone's calling for Devontae Adams, like, go trade for him, trade for Amari Cooper, this, that, and other." I'll say this. I think if Khalil Shakir plays in this game, it's a different result. I know, like, it's crazy to say, but, like, he is a major impact for this team. Like, he is the receiver that is making us click right now, in the passing game at least. I know Josh went 9 for 30, and maybe he completes 4 more passes if Khalil Shakir is in this game, but, like, that's a difference maker,
Yeah, Cody said that earlier. He actually asked us that question. Is Khalil Shakir that big of a person on that offense,
I think he
player?
Is. Yeah.
And yeah, I think we all agreed. Sadly, but yeah, we agree.
Without a doubt. But you could say the same thing, like Nico Collins going out early. Maybe it would have been 10 times worse had he played in this full game. So
exactly.
Maybe it wouldn't have mattered.
So let's look at these stats because I was dreading going over these, but let's go over this because we need to talk about this. Josh Allen, 9 for 30, 131 yards. And if he doesn't go to that big play for Coleman taking that 49-yarder to the house, under 100 yards, guys. Yeah. This is dreadful. 130, so 9 of 30, 131 yards. He averaged 4.4 pass play, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. We keep saying the one positive, no interceptions, but you know what? What the heck? It's not helping us much. He was sacked 1 time. QBR rating of 55.3 and a quarterback rating of 56.4. Jake.
I hate it.
Jake, what's happening?
I hate it because in the 2 matchups against top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, potentially, right? CJ Stroud and Lamar Jackson, back-to-back weeks, it does not look good. And all the haters are coming out being like, yeah, it's validated. He's overrated. So I hate it from that perspective, from the national media perspective, because I just want to turn it all off. We know what Josh can do here in Buffalo. I think Cody knows what he can do because Cody even said he thinks Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But yeah, it's never been more evident. And irony sets in, right? Because it's the game against Stefon Diggs that he has his worst completion percentage of his career in a game, 9 for 30. And it just did not look good. The passing offense was horrendous. And I don't know, man. We got to figure it out.
Jake, really you missed this too. You were talking about Josh. Dude, he missed up wide open Matt Collins.
Oh, he did? Yeah. I mean, did he hit Matt Collins on that play? Maybe it's a different result. Maybe not. But
that's a touchdown, and you could potentially win the game. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see here. McDermott. Okay. So you're saying Trey McDermott's kind of safe because he doesn't have the talent to get fired.
I agree.
He's not as bad as Serenati or anything. Yeah, true. Who's to blame here? Is it Bean? I mean,
I think it's being in a way to not set us up for the future, because it's like the drafts were a little mid. It's like you're drafting role players. You're not drafting starters for the future. And I think that's my biggest issue with it. I think there is also something to be said about the late round picks that we do have, because you talk about like guys, Christian Benford, 6th round pick, guy's an absolute stud, right? DeMar Hamlin, call it as you may, maybe he didn't have the greatest game today, but he is a starter, and he's a late round pick, So a lot of those guys did contribute, but I think what really comes to mind is like we could have had other guys. Brian Thomas Jr. today had an 85-yard touchdown. He had over 100 yards receiving, and the fact that we didn't trade up for a guy like that, maybe that hurts a little bit. Maybe today, if we have Brian Thomas Jr., it's a different result. And I like Keon Coleman. I think he is the Buffalo mentality. I think he's still very raw, and that touchdown play today was incredible. Maybe a shadow of what there is to come in the future. Maybe it's not. One ball hit him right in the face mask. It's just like there's things like that. Yeah.
He's a little lost. For sure. I mean, the thing I keep thinking about is everything that was said about him pre-draft has been absolutely right. It's no separation, 50-50 ball. And that 49-yarder, let's be real. I mean, it was a little bit on the cornerback. Cody would tell you that, just a missed tackle, and then he took it to the house. So nothing spectacular other than the run. And then we were talking about the tightrope and down the sideline. We were joking about that when you joined.
Yeah,
but
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Cody said.
It looked like it was out of bounds. I looked at the replay and I'm like, man, we got lucky on that.
Yeah, we did. So Chad the Chief, again, thank you so much. Always knows how to put a smile on our face, especially after a bad loss like this. If you were to GM a Buffalo,
Chad.
Who would you target in a trade to get a wide receiver, and what would you give up to get said wide receiver? Kansas City is in the same position. I am sure it will cost picks and players. Jessica, I'll throw it to you first for this.
I like to stand pat. Let them develop. There's a whole new wide receiver core. They need to work. And I'm hoping, by week 12 that it's a well-oiled machine. But if we did need to get rid of or catch somebody, if we are going to go to, let's say, Devontae Adams, give up a number 2. Give up a number 3. We have that extra from the Vikings, which looks like it's going to be a horrible 2nd-round pick.
Almost a 3rd rounder, right? I mean, probably. Yeah.
So that was from the Texans to us. So, but I'm believe that with our cap space and everything else, we have to stand pat. We don't have any extra. Otherwise, we're going to extend somebody. But there is talks, supposedly, that behind the scenes they're doing a extension for Josh.
I'll throw it to you, Jake. Let me get my thoughts on that. If I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling every team in the league, and I'm making a move. It's a salary cap thing. We set ourselves up so well next year, right? Supposedly. Got all these draft picks. We got cap space now. You're taking away another year of Josh Allen if you don't give him something he needs. And this is so obvious. We just don't have any defenses are worried about. Get somebody who can scare the defense. If it's me, I'm calling around. I'm making a deal. Yes. Jake, go ahead.
And I'll say this too, like the defense, as banged up as they are, like they did settle in. They let up 23 points to a really high potent offense on paper. I mean, you guys have some of the best receiving corps in the league, right? And you still carved us apart here and there, right? The 3rd downs killed us, but had we had a decent offense, a much better showing offensively, had Josh completed maybe 4 more passes, maybe it's a different game. So I understand people calling for, let's go make a move for a receiver. I think if I'm doing it, it's probably for a guy that is maybe a little cheaper. I'm not all in on Devontae Adams. I think he is still an absolute stud, but like the injury history a little bit now and the fact that he's already aging, I I'm not here for the Davante Adams trade. I am here for like an Amari Cooper trade, or I like what Weston said, Deontay Johnson. Really good route runner. I think he'd fit very well in this offense. Tough, gritty player. Played in Pittsburgh, so he's kind of used to like the atmosphere, right? Like similar Buffalo, Pittsburgh, similar cities. So I think I'd be here for something like that. And yeah, I mean, you give up like a second rounder, the Vikings pick from the Texans, which is probably a late second rounder. I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah. B-Bake, no, we're not surprised that he hasn't absolutely dominated this year. I mean, I thought he was going to have a good year. Yeah, he's not the number one guy there, so he's got Nico taking that extra coverage, Tank Dell, and he's just fine. He stepped in with 6 catches for 82 yards today, on 8 targets, so not too bad at all. Lots going on in the chat here. Raiders would have.
And let's not get it twisted too. I feel like the Texans had almost as much missed opportunities as the Bills did today. Like there were plays, the Dare Ogunbowale play where he could have caught a pass and maybe taken it upfield for so many yards. There were a lot of times where I'm like, man, the Texans should be absolutely dominating in this game. There were missed opportunities on their end too. So I feel like both teams definitely had that today occur, and obviously the Texans let the Bills back into this game. So Cody, I'm sure you're not super thrilled about the performance, but a win is a win, so
yeah, you weren't here for my diatribe on it, but exactly everything exactly everything that you just laid out, like I'm not happy at all about how we got that win today, but you come out with a win.
Yeah, but I want to say, after the first 3 weeks we're saying, wow, this wide receiver core is outstanding.
Oh, I know.
Best that we could ever have. They're, everybody's eating. It's great. And now after 2 games, they suck. They are horrible. We need to get rid. It's just that to me, it's the offensive line. The offensive line has not adjusted to being blitzed by 6 players and outnumbered, and the wide receivers are being, they're just being pinned down at the line and not given enough space to give Josh somebody to throw it to. So we gotta fix the offensive line first before we worry about the wide receivers.
I don't think I was ever saying the receivers are outstanding. The play calling was outstanding. But
where's the pre-snap motion though? Like where is all of the that's what's frustrating. Like we saw a little bit of like creativity with the pre-snap motion in particular, and there is none of that now. So like the defense is just playing off of just static movement, and it's really frustrating from a fan's perspective that kind of knows a little bit about football. Like what the hell is going on there? Like Curtis Samuel, I feel like pre-snap motion is his MO. And like this is a guy that should be involved in the offense. He had 1 catch today for like 0 yards, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 0
terrible
yards. And he had one rush for -1.
Awful.
By the way, when I say call every team, I'm not a fan of Davante either. He does have a huge ego issue. But I'm picking up the phone and just seeing who's out there. And just, who knows? Who knows? Give me somebody who can go deep. And are you regretting? Let me ask you this. Are you regretting the Keon Coleman pick, Jessica? We had opportunities to get at least 2 or 3 speedsters.
Ask me in 3 years.
3 years.
It's just way too early to make an assessment on a player like him.
Yeah.
He's big enough. He's learning the ropes. Let him get adjusted to the NFL. But I want to talk about Davante Adams here first. I think it's so funny that the Bills are all in on trying to get Davante Adams to Buffalo. Bean's just doing his job. He's calling them, seeing what they want for him, and seeing, if it makes sense for the Buffalo Bills. He's doing his job. And I think it's so hilarious that the media thinks, oh, the Buffalo Bills are really wanting to get Davante Adams. No, Bean's just doing his job.
Yeah, for sure. I'd imagine. There's been a few people who picked up the phone there, and you're right, Jessica. Of course, you got to make the call. got to make the call. Maybe it's some good deal that they're willing to part ways with him.
Hey, we'll give you a 7th-round pick for him, and we'll pay his entire salary.
I would take that all day. Right, I would go for that. Yeah.
I mean, we've heard that before. They make some trade him, and they only had to, give up a 5th. I'm like, really? Why didn't we make that move? I forget who it was, but
what was the Amari Cooper 4th, 5th swap or something like that?
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Amari Cooper is a stud. You want to talk about a player that I would consider? I would say Amari Cooper. I feel like he's got a little more juice in him. Cleveland is in a position right now where they are ready to offload, and they're looking to next season. Like, they got smoked today. And they probably should make a move at quarterback. Like, Deshaun Watson is not it. Plain and simple. Jameis Winston should be the starting quarterback of that team. So if Amari Cooper is good with it, which I'm sure he is, he's already tweeted it out one time, but he's not Devontae Adams level of like, and I'm not even saying Devontae Adams has like a big ego. Maybe he does. I don't know enough about him. But I just always felt like Amari Cooper has been like doubted, and a guy with a chip on his shoulder, a really good route runner, fast, can catch everything, put up numbers, very consistent. And I think he'd be a good fit in this offense. So that would be the one guy I would trade for.
How old is he now?
I think he might be like 28.
Cooper's 28, I think.
Only 28. Yeah. Man, it feels like he's been around forever. He's been on how many teams now? 3?
I think he came out whenever he was like I think he came out in his 30s. He's like 20, 21.
He's actually 30.
Oh, he's 30. Okay.
Wow, that's bad on me.
Did not realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around a while.
Though. Yeah.
He's been around. He's played for the Raiders, right? You start with the Raiders?
And Browns. Yeah.
Raiders and Browns.
Yep.
Okay.
I have 2 more names that y'all could potentially get to.
Help us out, Cody. Help us out.
Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver who just basically it's not a great look.
I know.
It's not a great look to just quit on your team and say you're not getting enough usage within your own offense whenever you got 8 targets last week and you've been playing with Malik Willis, who doesn't throw the ball for the last couple of weeks. But as an outside X-style wide receiver, he actually would be a little bit decent. And then the other one, I was digging around here in the background. Demario Douglas from the New England Patriots, I think, is a sneaky one to actually be moved on from, as they're getting Kendrick Bourne back off of IR. They still have KJ Osborne. They still have Jalen Polk. I don't know that they can actually play all of those players on the field at the same time, and I think that they actually could be in a position to move one of those guys. So those are 2 guys that I definitely think would be sneakier ones to actually be movable.
I just I have a direct connect to Bean. I just texted him those information.
There we go.
I'll let you know what his response is. He usually gets back to me pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens there.
By the way, Cody he did confirm this the other day. I did put it in the comments, and I'm like, this guy looks like Derek Carr. He did an AI like swap with the face, and it did turn out to be Derek Carr. So I just want to put it out there because I'm seeing it again. I'm like, man, this guy literally is Derek Carr. So.
It ate at me for the next like 24 hours, honestly.
Dude, that's a compliment in my opinion. I mean,
I'm fully taking it as one. Yeah.
There we go.
We got 2 good quarterbacks on the show tonight. Are you kidding me? We should be killing it.
Yep.
Yes, right. Weston reminded me of my response in draft day. No. When Keon was drafted, that was true. It was I think a lot of us were feeling that way, especially when you passed up, Xavier Legette. By the way, Legette, we won't really know. He hasn't had a great quarterback thrown to him. And then, of course, Xavier Worthy. And Worthy hasn't been really killing it. Yes, he's had a nice couple big plays opening day, and I think he had a big play last week. But what you like about him is, man, he can scare you. You got to respect him deep for sure. But there were a couple guys we had above Kean. Jessica, good point. Have to give him a little bit of time, and we'll see what happens there. Boy, Roy's always so negative.
Hey, even if he's a number 2 receiver, that's still a starter. And that's all you really hope for from a draft pick is that he becomes a starter in the first 4 rounds.
Second rounder too, right?
Yeah, he's a second rounder. Take the 22 draft. James Cook, starter. Bernard, starter. Shakir, starter. Ariza got kicked off. Benford, starter.
Still.
And Spector, a good backup.
True. That's true.
And that's a great draft. And you got Carrier Elam, who is the third, cornerback.
Yeah.
That's an awesome draft. And anybody who says, I hate to disagree with you, Jake, but Bean is an awesome drafter, and at least in my opinion.
I think especially it really does speak to like in the later rounds. Like even as I was saying that, I mean, we do have starting caliber players. You look back, I mean, really the track record isn't that bad. That's all you could really ask for, right?
He's better than everybody. He's better than most of the other GMs in the league.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of these other teams that are absolute train wrecks, and it's like, man, what were they thinking? At least for us, we can say, like, yeah, they're a solid player at the very least. They've gotten time on the field for a reason, not just because of injury. So that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, Weston, the Ravens and Bengals game, my God, Bengals were up by 10 a couple times. And even in overtime, it was insane how that worked out there. That game was amazing. My son was up there just loving it, scared. It's like, oh, Dad. Then he comes over to me when they're driving. Like the Bengals had the ball, I think, first, and or whatever. But it was so close. Somebody had a fumble, and Lamar fumbled, gave the ball to the Bengals. They get the ball back and go win the game. So yeah, that is crazy. Okay, so let's say we don't go get a receiver. We're not going to save the day this year. Something's got to change. So let me give you some numbers, and then Jake and Jessica, I'll ask you, and then even get Cody's opinion afterwards. So listen to this. I'm not going to give you the yardage for each player. Total yardage was 131 from our receivers. Keon Coleman, 5 targets, 1 catch. And that was just an out, like just a fastball from Josh to the left side. Thank God. Cody's rookie corner, misses that play. Keon Coleman takes it to the house. Kincaid, 6 targets, only 2 catches. Again, 6 targets, 2 catches. Where has he been? Matt Collins, 6 targets, 2 catches, including a wide open pass that was overthrown to him. James Cook, 3 targets, 2 catches. Ray Davis, 2 targets, 1 catch. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 3 targets, 0 catches. And in Curtis Samuel,
and a drop.
4 targets, 1 catch. Something's got to change here, Jake. What are we going to do? We're not going to go pick up a wide receiver. I'll throw it to you first. What are we changing in this offense going forward? Because I'm not giving up on the season. We can't give up on the season. What are we going to do?
I think you got to stop being cute. I think it does start with Joe Brady a little bit. Like, run the football. It was very effective. Let's not get it twisted. Like, we ran the football down your guys' throats. Like, we were doing a good job with it, right? I think you throw like 1 or 2 screens in the mix or whatever it was, and it just did not go our way, and then it ruined momentum. So I think there needs to be some accountability on his end to be like, hey, let's get this right. Let's get a game plan set in place, because like the whole first half, there was no game plan, it seemed like. Maybe it was to run the football, but then we got away from it every time. I think, secondly, you got to work the middle of the field. You look at where's Dawson Knox, by the way? I mean, we have 2 really good tight ends on this team. Let's get both of them involved.
0 targets. 0 targets.
I don't understand that. We're paying him a lot of money, too. I know he took a pay cut, but like, what are we doing here? We have 2 very compatible tight ends, capable tight ends, to be the best tight end core in the NFL. And there's nothing there. And I think that's extremely frustrating, because we are lacking the depth at the receiver position. Like, we don't have these studs, these household names. And yeah, with a game where Khalil Shakir is out of it, let's be a little physical, get the ball to Dawson Knox, because he is Fort Knox. Like, this guy will make a juice play and get you guys fired up. There was none of that today. And Quentin Morris was active, by the way, too. I don't understand it.
Jessica, what are we going to do?
This is what I'm going to say. Pat Mahomes does not have better wide receivers than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, for most of his career, did not have better wide receivers than we do.
Right.
They still made it work. And what the whole equation comes down to is, who was the quarterback today, and how many completions did he make out of how many attempts? Is it the wide receivers, or is it Josh making bad choices?
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound like how to fix this. How are we fixing this?
What fix it is to give Josh time in the pocket and fix how the offensive line is going to deal with six players coming in. That's at least what I'm coming down to. And if you take into account the last 2 games, we lost the coin toss.
Yeah,
we got the ball first, and I don't think the offense runs as well when that happens.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jake. I was saying, where's Dawson Knox? Where's this great 12 personnel? We got 2 good tight ends. Even Kincaid, to me, has been a little underwhelming, the usage of him. And I don't know, there's been out of sync. But Cody, from the outside, Cody, I know this is hard for you to even give us any advice because I'm going to go right to being with this information. But what do you, I mean, assuming we don't make a play for a wide receiver, what do you think the Bills got to do to clean this up and be competitive this year and get to the playoffs?
Yeah, truthfully, I don't think you all need to make a play for a wide receiver. Like you have made your bet on saying that this is how we're going to operate our offense. We talked about it on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that was, of just like, why would it make sense for us to go out and get Devontae Adams and bring him in whenever we literally just got away from Stefon Diggs because we wanted to run this style of offense. And now it worked very well for the first 3 weeks, and it just hasn't worked well for the last 2. I do think Khalil Shakira is a larger part of the offense than a lot of people want to think that he is.
I love
Khalil Shakira.
I dropped
baby when you dance like that.
I caught it, brother. I love it.
I've dropped so many Shakira gifs in my fantasy football chats because of Khalil Shakira. It's Khalil Shakira and Jacoby Brisket are my 2 fantasy football names.
Yes.
But like he just makes so much more of this offense work with how they want to work right now. And I thought that Curtis Samuel was going to be able to replace that because I felt like they were similar styled wide receivers, but for whatever reason, it just hasn't been able to make it work right now. I do think it needs to get back to, like, truthfully, y'all were running it down our throats with James Cook, and it just seemed to disappear in the second half as they felt like they kind of had to like get back into the game, but they got back into the game. And there was just a lack of James Cook, I really thought, in the second half, especially where we talked about, like, I thought that was going to be the emphasis of the Bills running game, was going to be running it down the throat. And he did it in the first half, and they really actually succeeded well, I thought. I think it just went away a little bit. So I don't think there needs to be any wholesale changes or moves that you all need to make. I just think holistically within the offense, there just needs to be a little bit better structure to what you're doing throughout the game plan.
Yeah,
good point. We have been saying they seem to go away the last couple of weeks. I understand why last week, but yeah, Cook was averaging 4.1 yards. Josh Allen, 54 yards rushing. Didn't feel like, but he averaged 13.5. Ty Johnson had 3 runs for average of 5. So yeah, they were running the ball, and like you said, it did seem like they got away from it. Let's see here. Who's this Jessica Tennis in the chat? I mean, we got a clone of Jessica. He must have lost trust, Roy. He must have lost trust.
I want to give a shout out to my neighbor, by the way. So he texted me. He said, "Hey, first off, I might be the best dressed on the podcast. No big deal. I am wearing a suit and tie.
That is 100%. Right now. Come on.
Okay. So I saw Tyler on the AFC East Summit. Listen, he's coming in hot with the suit and tie. You know, he's killing it right now. But my neighbor did say, he made a great point. He said, Josh is not a get the ball out in under 2 seconds quarterback. He needs more time to make plays. The pocket blew up all day today, and he has no time. He has to run to make plays, which he does. He has to put the cape on a few times, right? He had 54 rushing yards in this game, and he could have had more. I mean, there were some third downs where it's like, man, Josh can just run the ball and get a first down here. But I feel like it was almost him forcing the ball at times. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's Brady in his ear saying, like, hey, we got to get this pass off, or him just trying to, not run the football and throw the ball instead.
Choices.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we were saying that earlier, Jake. I mean, no defense now is respecting our receivers. So, of course, you're going to crowd the line. You're going to bring the heat, put pressure on Josh, just blitz him, bring the heat. And they're doing that. And we have no answer for it. Of course, the run game will slow that down somewhat. But if you go away from that, that's all they're doing. They're doing. Bringing it. And it's getting to Josh, and he's getting beat up, man. Come on now. But still,
I was terrified with that one hit where it was
it looked bad.
Head hit the ground, shoulder hit the ground. I'm like, that's it. We're done.
Can't believe he wasn't concussed. Can't believe it.
Insane.
That's the talk of the town, Cody.
Last week.
Didn't help us.
Freight train hit him.
It didn't help us, Cody. I was thinking, all right, come on in, Mitch, because Josh has only got like 9 completions. Maybe you can get us in the end zone. But now Josh comes back. We still don't get in the end zone, kick a field goal. And
they had to give him some smelling salts. That's y'all's concussion protocol over there.
Dude, that's what it is. Just rip some smelling salts, good to go, baby. We were doing smelling salts at the wedding tonight.
What? Seriously?
On the dance floor, just a little smelling salt, good to go. Pass it on to the next one.
Well, I'm sure
we're a
little
different in Buffalo. We're built different, Mike. You should know. I know you moved away, but like we're gritty. That's what it's all about.
I know. I'm actually surprised we're getting you in this state. I mean, I feel like maybe you I've seen a little too many.
You've seen worse.
I've seen Jake when he's had a few too many, and I'm expecting a wedding. I'm like, he's gonna come in here plastered. But
we're vibing. We're buzzing. We're at the
man.
perfect level right now, so it's good. Cheers to that.
It's funny.
I am still drinking a beer though.
I know. On Friday, is one of those days where I go to the office. I had nothing clean, so I throw on a nice, not a suit, but nice shirt. Of course, everyone's like, "You got an interview today or something?" I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to up my, up my game a little bit here." And I think maybe Jake, you started a new trend. We'll all get out the jackets, and we'll show up on the show. Jessica will bring out her best dress, and I don't know what Cody.
Now listen,
has.
I'm like Adam Sandler for the most part. Like I am not dressing up. Like this is what you're gonna get at the very best. Otherwise, hoodie, shorts, we're good to go. That's all I need.
I know. I missed the game at noon because I was at a concealed carry class, so I was periodically checking Discord. Nice. Yeah, Weston's all over the place. So I don't know how he
that
does
was a better choice.
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely was. Here we go, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, so we talked about the weakness on the offense there, the horrible. Let's just hopefully we can turn the page here. On the defensive side, I think there were some positives, right? We talked about Dwayne Carter, our rookie. I thought he showed up in a big way. So want to see a lot more of him on the field when Ed Oliver comes back, and hopefully Ed's not out too much longer. Man, God, I'm gonna miss him if we don't have him for that Jets game. But there was a positive there. I thought Dorian played a great game, dude. He's just got that look. He's a beast. And you heard him saying, they were interviewing him. He says, "Oh, I love this team. They let me go all over the place." And then he corrected himself, like within the scheme. But I thought he just had a fantastic game. And I thought, having Terrell Bernard back, you could see. I mean, there was definitely a difference there. He is that leader on D, and obviously coming up with a big play. Who got the let's see here. Who got the sack today? We did get one sack. It was Smoot. I thought Smoot looked good. I mean, not number wise, but I thought he forced
the fumble.
Yeah, he was the one. That's right. That's right. He hit his arm. Yep. Great job there. I thought, okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Russo. What the heck? Where's going on? What's Russo?
He had one tackle.
One tackle. Now,
yeah,
Jessica, this is a guy that we got to count on. And I don't know. I mean, you can't tell me wait 3 years from him. It's already been past 3 years. And every year we expect him to have a big year, 10 plus sacks. We always say that. What did you see? What's going on with him?
He's a run-first defensive end. And I think he takes that responsibility first. Are they keen on him versus the other players? Especially with Ed out.
No Von Miller.
Von Miller. I'm hoping that, he was defensive player of the week 1. But that was week 1.
Exactly.
And this is week 5. Good thing about it is that he'll be a little bit cheaper. If this continues.
Well, so look, so he had 3 quarterback hits, 1 tackle. He did miss. I feel like there was one play where he let Stroud get away from him, and Stroud took off for, I think, first down or something. Something happened there. But Yeah, he had 3 quarterback hits, so he was getting there. He was getting close, and it did look like he was getting close, just not able to finish the job. Yeah, you're right. Without Von Miller, without Ed Oliver, kind of some big, they can focus on him a little bit more.
And they did have Strauss. He had Strauss in the backfield. He just missed him, and then Stroud went ahead and somebody else missed him, and he got the first down.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. Mm-hmm. So what about you guys, Jake, defense? Anything else you want to give?
Dorian Williams was an absolute stud. Yeah. Like, there's no denying that. I will say the presence was felt today by Terrell Bernard. Like, he definitely set the tone. I think the linebacker play was so much better. It was noticeable from last week to this week. So that's definitely encouraging. I love what I saw from Dwayne Carter. I think he should be a starter on this defensive line. It should be him and probably Eddie Oliver. Daquan Jones can rotate in. Zion Logue can rotate in. Austin Johnson, when he is healthy, can probably come back in. But, like, Dwayne Carter should be the starting defensive tackle next to Eddie Oliver. Like, he has proven time in and time out. I think over the last few games even. Like, people talk about today. I've seen stuff from him in the previous weeks, too, where it's like this guy is actually – every play he's popped, every series at least. So I was very encouraged by that. I think the safety play was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But when you have a really good, like, front seven, you shouldn't have to worry as much about the safety plays. So we can kind of conceal that a little bit. So you got to have the right guys up front playing.
Cole Bishop was out of place, and he was missing tackles. Lots of tackles.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I do want to say, too, because the defenses aren't respecting us, you can spy Josh Allen and Cody, you can talk about this. Azeez Al-Shaair, if I said his name right.
I mean,
dude,
he
was
player, man.
I mean, he was covering Josh, and Josh usually has, like, when Josh is like scrambling, he usually can get to the right and make something happen. But there was just pressure all over him, and it was Azeez all over him, man, spying him. He
had a career day today. I mean, legit. I don't know if the first quarter exactly was his best, but quarters 2 through 4 were some of the best football linebacker play that I have seen out of anyone, and it was needed today. I mean, he was in coverage, which Azeez Al-Shaair does not play coverage linebacker roles. Like, that's not what he does, but he was in coverage today and was draping wide receivers. Like, that normally doesn't happen. And then there's one specific play where Josh rolls out to the right, I think, and you see Azeez Al-Shaair from the linebacker position run twice as fast as the defensive lineman to go and get him before he can turn the corner. I mean, he was on a different level today. I don't know, like, he should be tested for PEDs tomorrow, honestly.
Well, listen, I think this is a good signing,
Cody.
Like, I don't think people understand. Like, he had 160 plus tackles last year for the Titans, and he signed with you guys. I think that was a very underrated signing for y'all.
And he comes in as a captain.
Yeah, he's
in
a good
off
player,
season.
Man.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, he's not always as consistent as he was today, but today was just a career Hall of Fame level performance. It really was absolutely insane. Every time that there was a tackle being made, you looked up, and who was making the tackle and who was coming out of the pile. It was Azeez Al-Shaair. It was fantastic.
Yeah, he had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, and 2 quarterback hits. He was all over the place. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, no one else really shined. I mean, I think we covered the defensive side. I think Cole Bishop, Jessica, I know you. You're very forgiving, and I agree with you on Cole Bishop. He needs time. This is his first start, right? First start for the kid.
Yeah.
So he'll learn, and I have no doubt that that's one really good thing that McDermott does is coach up those safeties.
It'll pay off dividends later in the season. Just the experience. That if we need to put him in week 15, 16, 17, that he'll be ready to go.
I do have a question.
Now it's costing us.
Mike Edwards, what's going on with him? Like,
I know.
Oh,
where is he?
I want to ask you guys a question. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I want to say this though. Cam Lewis, he seems to be over his head. Taron Johnson's severely missing. Why? And I think I convinced myself I know why. But Kyrie Elam, why not have given him a shot at the slot? I know that's a lot more than just playing corner. It is a different position. Why not get him in there? He's bigger. He's faster. He's more physical than Cam. Get the kid in there.
Yeah. Because he's the first backup to the cornerbacks. And if he goes down playing the slot, you don't have any backups for the other two. And that's why I think they don't use him in that position.
I'd like to see him in there. I get it, but you have Cam Lewis who can play corner. He can play corner, man.
Let's talk about Kalen Bullock, though, Mike. So that's your guy, right?
Yeah.
Cody, talk to me about Kalen Bullock a little bit, because we're talking about safeties and secondary right now. I just want to get your take on him, because we were very high on him in the draft process.
It hasn't been, I don't think it's been fantastic, but it's been serviceable. I mean, especially with Jimmy Ward leaving this game, like he's had to step up and play. I think it's been average NFL play right now. I really do think the corners have stepped up. Like we were talking about that bounce back that we needed from Petrie. I think Petrie has really been the one that has stepped back up, especially in that nickel role. He's been absolutely killer in the run game. And then you have the two corners on the opposite sides, but he's been all right, I think. But for a rookie and what he's doing right now, and especially for where he was drafted, what was it, third, fourth round? I mean, absolutely. You would say that is a smash signing at this point, or a smash draft pick at this point, because of what he's been able to do for the level of investment that you're putting into him and what this team has needed from him to actually put back onto the field. Like, yes.
And Lassiter,
very,
honestly,
very happy. And then Lassiter too. I mean,
very good performance by him today too.
Everything that they've done in the back, in the secondary has been, it's been enough to get by. Honestly, I think that's kind of where we're at.
Right. Yeah.
B-Big, I might have brought this up. I don't know, but I didn't read it. Williams looks great. Coleman has a high ceiling. Offensive line gave up pressure, but stayed strong. And Cook is an absolute stud. I love the positivity there, B-Big. I know B-Big's he's a Texans fan, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who made me a Texans fan, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Does he live nearby? You?
We've gone through college together and then now live down in Houston together. So
fantastic.
Hey, A&M, what a win too, huh?
Oh, yeah. We're repping everything. We're repping everything this weekend. It was an absolute slaughter of Mizzou walking into that place. They did not look like they wanted to play football that day.
That's a big win, man.
Well, let's get B-Bake on the pod one time. We're gonna have Chad Weston. We'll get B-Bake, Cody. We'll have some big round table. And then Jake, I got to ask you about your neighbor. He always sends you texts. This great, amazing stuff.
I know.
Where is he? Why is he not in the chat out there?
He said he wants to be known as anonymous and just called the neighbor.
Well,
I said that's fine.
This would be great. He can go create his YouTube name, The Neighbor.
The Neighbor.
And just show him how to install the app and then jump on the app and The Neighbor. We'll know who exactly that is.
I agree. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Cody, can you name the two players on the Bills who are from Texas A&M?
Von Miller, obviously, unfortunately, wasn't in this game today. And then I would have to look at the roster chart for the second one. Not coming to me off the top of my head, but I love Von Miller. Okay, yep. That makes sense. Makes sense as to why I don't know the name, because it's definitely not the type of player that I would follow. But Von Miller, easily the one that I would know off the top head at any time. He basically reestablished poultry science at the University of Texas A&M.
You know who I saw out at who was doing shorts? Bill's bunker. Jake Varco. I think he was.
Dude, he's killing it.
And he was asking Texans fans this question. Cody's going to know this, but he was and they didn't know. They're like, who are the two teams that Stefon Diggs played for before the Texans? And they didn't know. They didn't know. Well, I mean,
you got to ask him like something different. Like
one guy got it right. He got both teams, and then I think he asked him where he went to college, and he knew. But some guys were like, one guy didn't even know it was the Bills prior to
That's insane.
Texans.
The fact that they didn't know that Like, I would have probably thrown something a little bit different. Like, hey, who was your first overall pick in 2002, right? Like, David Carr.
Boy.
Something like that. And he said Steph Diggs. That's a softball question. I love it, Jake. He's killing it out there. Shout out Jake.
And he's traveling, which is cool. I love what he's doing. But and it's funny that he asked that. I saw that. But Chad's saying, is there a way we can have Cody banned from the show due to the A&M?
Chad's a Mizzou fan.
Yeah. I believe it is warranted.
Yeah.
So again, I'm from Missouri, so my family weirdly reps Mizzou. They have no connection to Mizzou, except for the fact that on Thursday, my sister was accepted to Mizzou's PT school or OT
no
school,
way,
and then absolutely just got late. It was
awesome.
Probably the wildest interaction of scenarios that could have possibly happened for that one.
So growing up, were you a Mizzou fan, Kansas fan, or what was your team?
No, I legitimately didn't have a college team.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was Mizzou if we had something. Like it was, I think the only merchandise I ever had was maybe a Mizzou jacket or something like that. But no real connection to it. But my brother and dad, for some reason, have a massive following to them. And it was a fun
2008
fun phone call. But was that Chase Daniel years?
Chase Daniel, yes. Chase Daniel, Jeremy Macklin, other tight end, Chase Kaufman.
Yes.
Oh, let's get your sister on the show, says Chad. She can come on the show anytime.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Funny stuff. Well, listen, we got to find some positivity. So Bills are still in first place. We're 3-2. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to go around the horn here and wrap this up. We're 3-2. Week 6, one of the biggest games of the year. I mean, they've all been big, but here we go. New York Jets, Monday night in MetLife Stadium. Not only do I have a bet with one of my coworkers who's a Jets fan, but we need to get this win. Coming off of 2 losses. I mean, they're coming off of
2 losses.
1 loss. Are they coming off back-to-back losses too?
Yeah.
That's right.
Broncos
right.
And
we have not been able to take advantage. Which one of these teams breaks their losing streak? We get the win. Beautiful. We're in first place. 4-2. That's what Jessica predicted. Actually, I don't know if she predicted. She said, I will be okay with 4-2 as long as we beat the Jets. And I think all of us would say going on this 3-game road trip gauntlet, and it is a gauntlet. Don't get me wrong. You go to Baltimore, then you have to go to Texas, Houston. Then you have to go to Monday Night Football and play Aaron Rodgers. It's a gauntlet. And if we can come out of this 4-2, we're okay, man. We are okay. If we lose, guess what? We're tied for first. We're technically in second. Mm-hmm. And that whole AFC East is so congested. So stay positive. Keep believing. I've been a fan way too long to stop believing. Look at last year, 6-6. We had a 3% chance of making the playoffs. We did it. And it's still early. They're going to have to make adjustments. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy, especially with this wide receiver core not scaring anybody. So, Brady, dig into that book that you were not wanting to show anybody during preseason because we can't show our hands. Like, really? I kept saying that. Really? We got that much that we got to hide? But listen, positivity. Let's go. Let's get them in New York. Let's get back on top of this. So, let's go. Jessica, closing thoughts.
I want the Bills to get the split, to guarantee the split against the Jets. If we get that, I think we're golden for the rest of the season. Denver was the Jets team that they had to play out of the West. Ours is Kansas City. Jets already lost. If we lose Kansas City, no big deal. And that's sort of how I look at it, is that if we can take a look at the teams that we have to play similar, as long as we do as well as the Jets and we get the split and then take care of them when they come to Buffalo, the division's ours. I do not worry about the Dolphins at this point. I did not worry about New England. And it might be just a division where you win at 9-8 this year. I hate to say it, but that might be the case.
We'll take it, Jessica. Chad the Chief, are you friends with Anthony from the AFC Summit? Are the Jets still the best team in the AFC and by far the favorite to win the Super Bowl? Asking for a friend. That's a hell no. And I'm going to fire people up. Jake, this is because I'm throwing it to you, man. Let's go. Fire it up. Let's go.
Here we go. Come on now.
Baby. Let's go.
I had a table back there.
Yes, Jake.
It's slate.
Jumping through a table with the suit on.
But I will.
Next level. Let's go.
It would be. Listen,
Jake,
I'll tell you what right now.
Buddy.
Yeah, this Houston Texans team is a very good team. We only lost by 3 points. We came back. We were down 20-3 at one point, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, it was 20-10, right? 17-3, 20-10 at one point. Anyways, nonetheless, yeah, I mean, tough loss, right? It hurts. It stings a little bit. But I think the fact that we went toe-to-toe with them, even though Josh only completed 9 passes, I should feel pretty good about that. We should feel pretty good about that. Hopefully, Khalil Shakira can come back. Shakira can come back.
Shakira.
And I'll tell you what, man, once that offense starts clicking and once we start humming, it's a freight train. Okay? I think Joe Brady does need to do like some looking in the mirror a little bit and figure it out a little bit, because sometimes it gets a little too cute and it kind of strikes us a little bit, and we're just, we're left playing from behind, and we can't play from behind apparently. Like, that just is not who we are. So I think moving forward, this Jets game is going to tell a lot about us. And Jess, I'm with you. We got to split it at least. If we split this, I think we can win the division. I'm going to end on an optimistic note. I think the Bills will win the division. I think we're still going 12-5. We're going to get this dub against the Jets, and we're going to feel pretty good next weekend. Actually, next Monday.
Next Monday. We got to wait again till Monday night. Oh, my God. I'm so over these primetime games.
I'm not worried about the Jets. I think they have a great defense, but that offense is in shambles. Nate Hackett is not doing them anything good.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw it to Cody, but I had a last question for Jessica. Are we gonna see Josh Allen throw for 300 yards at all this season?
Yes, against New England. So there's the last two games of the season.
Nice.
Still have 600 games.
Week 16 and week 18. That's New England.
Man, would love to see it. I miss the days of the passing game. That game that you could throw for 300 plus. We'll see. Cody, I don't know if you can wrap it up. It's kind of like a bad call on my part to end it with you, but hey, congrats again. Closing thoughts from the Texans.
Do appreciate it. Closing thoughts. Keon Coleman was still out of bounds. We have to put that one first. I do fully believe that while I don't think it follows NFL guidelines, I honestly love Josh Allen. As much as I was pissed off about it today, Josh Allen, again, coming up from a concussion. It was not anything that you can tell me that was not a concussion. Saying it was a chest injury as he was coming off the field, and then in post game saying it was an ankle and being brought back by smelling salts.
Insane.
Might actually be one of the most badass things that I think I've ever seen. That's fantastic. As much as I'm pissed off about it in the moment, because he shouldn't have been allowed to come back and even get you all back into that game, it's honestly pretty good. Also, one last thing that I will wrap up with. I have to wrap up with this one. I am so upset that I could not rep my Daria Gumbawale H-Town jersey, because I bought one and it got delivered to the wrong address, and I have ordered another Daria Gumbawale jersey to get delivered to my address. I bought 2 Daria Gumbawale H-Town jerseys, and I don't think that there's anybody else in the world that can actually say that. Daria Gumbawale is my hero. He although he only ran for 30 yards on 15 rushes today, he was legitimately the savior of Texans football today, because even Cam Akers didn't rush the ball as much as him. Daria Gumbawale is my absolute hero, and he's the best backup running back kicker in the league.
Amen, brother.
Awesome. Roy says 12-5. Jake, you have any optimism to sell?
Oh yeah. Listen,
we got tons of optimism here.
The teams I had us losing against are not doing so well. The Niners lost today. They're 2-3. I mean, the Rams do not look good. I mean, you talk about some of these tougher teams on the schedule. Maybe the Lions are like the toughest team, I mean, the Chiefs are still there, but like, I think, listen, Chad, I love your Chiefs, right, brother? I give them a lot of respect, but I think you guys are beatable. Okay, you have some holes. I think the NFL is it's a different year. There's some things, and I'm not saying the Bills are great. I think there's a lot to improve on, but I'd rather lose now and get hot later, like we have in previous years. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's the case.
Every team on the Bills' schedule is beatable.
Mm-hmm.
We just question is, can we beat them that particular day and that particular time?
I want to thank the chat again. If you can take just a second and smash that like button. And we did not have one person coming in saying fire someone. We did say, Trek Review saying release Cam, I think. But McDermott firing, no Bean fire. I mean,
I'm shocked.
No Brady firing. Good thing you kept Zach at bay. I'm sure he was bringing the heat.
Oh, he did.
Thank you, channel, for not bringing that. Good stuff. Cody, thank you so much. We're definitely going to do more with you guys for sure. And I would like to introduce you to our fantasy football guys. You'd be great on that channel with those guys. Just kind of maybe a couple episodes. Jake, still can't keep my eyes off of you, man. I don't know what it is. You look so damn.
You're giving me a big head.
Good, dude. It's good to see you. Thanks for going to that wedding. I was telling it, folks, ahead of time, like. Jake was pissed. He's like, he put out the notice when, how that notice we put out when the NFL starts. Do not have a wedding on a football Sunday.
Oh, it's insane.
Thank goodness it was after the game, though, right? But still, you have to get ready. It's brutal.
Even so, it's tough. I mean, I watch Red Zone. I watch every game. Yeah. So it's not just Bills Sunday. Like, it's a religion to me. Like, I watch it every freaking Sunday. I watch college football like that, too. But, I mean, shout out to the Brian group. They killed it. It was a fun wedding. We played the Bill Shout song. It was still incredible. Still drank like a Buffalonian tonight, so can't complain.
Go Yankees, Weston. Go Yankees. Jessica, did you have it? It looked like you had something to say.
Oh, I was just curious. Exactly what time did they get married?
4:30. So it was like 15 minutes. We were all at the bar watching the game. We saw it happen, and it's like, oh. And on top of that, like everyone that's in the wedding, they're a bunch of degenerate gamblers. So like they have bets and everything going on too, and it's just like they lose all their bets. The Bills lose. Everything is just terrible. We're all.
So it was sort of a sad wedding.
No, but I'll tell you what. Listen, once the wedding started, everyone was good. It's like, hey, let's get a few drinks. Let's just celebrate this. The best part is you're surrounded by Buffalonians, so everyone feels the pain. And we usually deal with their pain with, a couple of these. So it's all good.
Jake, what was served for dinner? I can just see this wedding having chicken wings served.
Actually, so they had like a late night pretzel bar going on. They didn't have like a buffalo bar, which I was shocked. Most weddings do. But they did play the Bill Shout song a few times, which, you love to see it. Shy Guy Sean from Kiss 98.5 was there as the DJ, which is incredible.
Awesome.
It's like, damn, that's awesome. And, a lot of beers, a lot of drinks, you name it.
All right. Well, everyone have a good night. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you on the show sometime this week. We have the AFC Summit on Tuesdays at, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got fantasy football. The guys had to take the week off last week, but they'll be back either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then, of course, you have the Ruthless Show on Saturday. And we'll be back on Sunday. And you never know. Like this week, I just said, Cody, let me do a show with you. And he said, sure, let's jump on. So you never know when we'll show up on the camera. So everyone, thank you again for your support. We truly, truly appreciate it. We're getting near 2,000. Help us out. Help us get there. Share the pod. Everyone, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Swarm.